Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Saad Imran from the Language House with another session for improving your English language skills. Today, our focus, our objective is solving IGCSE paper code 0511. This is your IGCSE paper code 0511. We are going to work on this paper because you know that IGCSE and O levels, their focus is reading and writing. So we are going to do a reading passage for IGCSE exams, and this is the reading passage we are focusing today. So our objective is to revise the reading skills for IGCSE students with this code, and the topic of this session is the power of feedback. So we are going to read this passage together, and we are going to find out which sub skills of the reading is being practiced here in this passage. So let's do it together. The power of feedback. So you must have read this word, or you have understood this word, or you have heard or talk about this word ever. This is feedback. What do you know about feedback? What is feedback? Feedback is giving your ideas, giving your reviews. You go in a restaurant, you go at a place, anywhere, and you take feedback. You are asked to give feedback sometimes. What is the reason behind it? Have you ever thought about it? The reason for giving feedback is to improve things, and they are vital in research, in improving organizations. So in public and private sector, feedback is a very important thing which has to be taken, reviews of the people. So what is the power of feedback? Focus of today's lesson, the reading passage, the title is the power of feedback. Imagine you are talking to someone and you notice that they have an unusual new hairstyle. Would you comment on it? How likely you are to do so depends on things such as who the other person is, in the context in which it happens, and even your own personality. These are the important factors which are there, the writer says, which are important to take the feedback. In some instances, it can be difficult to know what to say in a situation like this, as you don't want to hurt the people's feeling. In fact, in a recent study, fewer than 3% of the people said they would comment on an aspect of someone's appearance if they felt negatively about it. This is the first passage of the reading extract, and you are giving 20 minutes to solve it. In the first paragraph, you understand, student, that this is an introductory paragraph about the main topic we are discussing about. So they say that imagine you notice someone wearing something unusual and you want to give him a comment. So there is a fine difference between feedback and criticism. So there are three things which you keep in mind when you're giving the feedback. Number one, how likely you are to do so depend number one, on the person you are talking to. Number two is the context in which it happens, and the number three is your own personality. There are two types of people. One are intrinsic, the other are extrinsic. Intrinsic people keep things to themselves. Extrinsic people speak about the things and they explain their emotions. So in some instances you don't say because you feel that this is awkward, and also this is also empathy. Sometimes when you see someone in a weird situation, in a strange situation, but you don't comment looking at the context, which is also called pragmatics connotation in linguistics and language training. I'm going to the second paragraph, and I hope that you understand the first paragraph. Apart from issuing relating to appearance, feedback is vital for learning and growth. Very important. For any learning and growth, feedback is important. For example, if a teacher has 40 students in the class and she is not providing positive feedback, or maybe not negative, positive feedback is always admirable feedback, then their students won't achieve or develop their skills. Students need, in order to develop their skills and knowledge. In schools, teachers say that feedback can improve performance. In our personal lives, Children may tell a parent that the curry they cooked was too spicy, or parents tell their kids to be more polite. So day to day basis feedback is important, because every day on the food, on the table, on the dinner table, we give feedback about the food. This is tasty, this is delicious, this is spicy, this is less spicy, this is salty, this is sour. So we feedback, and based on the improvement of things. So I'm repeating again that there is a difference between feedback and criticism. Children may tell their parents, yet we are often unwilling to provide feedback in these situations too. But sometimes we don't want to give feedbacks because of their strange emotions. Researchers who conducted the study mentioned above have proposed that a significant reason for this is that we simply fail to realize how valuable feedback is to the person receiving it. If a person is ready to take the feedback, if a student is ready to take a feedback, if a son or a daughter is ready to take a feedback, even an adult is ready to take a feedback, then that feedback would affect. Otherwise, that feedback would become a criticism if the other person is not ready. The research team decided to investigate this theory through a series of experiments. In one, participants were asked to imagine either receiving or giving feedback is different situations. For example, if there were errors in the presentation they had given. In another, they were asked to provide genuine feedback to someone. For instance, telling a friend that they are always late when you arrange to meet. Across the various experiments, fewer than half of the participants wanted to provide feedback when given a chance, while a large majority of them were extremely eager to receive it. Interestingly, receivers generally describes the feedback as highly valuable. So, keeping this in mind, this topic, they decided to conduct a research, and they have taken 3 types of people for conducting in 3 situations for checking their research theory. And they say fewer people wanted to give the feedback, most of them wanted to take the feedback, and they find out it's extremely valuable. So in this way, the people who are taking the feedback are positive and they wanted to take it. What was striking about this study was that even though the data was obtained in a variety of ways, the result was identical. So the results, though the data was taken by a variety of ways, it means that it was taken through questionnaire, through interviews, through talking to someone, through different mediums, but the results were same. Little account was taken, however, of the effects that differences in the relationships between the people involved could have. For example, feedback from a teacher to a student is going to be very different to feedback between friends. So the situation and who is giving feedback to whom is also varies, and this affects the result. The study also failed to consider how often feedback is given. A friend who is constantly telling you how to improve is likely to become annoying very quickly. So if a parent or a teacher is giving a kind of statement to a child or a student every day that you are no good, you have done this, you can't do this, you can't achieve it, then the person's mind will be negative against you. And if someday you are trying to give him a positive feedback, he won't take it. So who is giving feedback and what is your relationship with the other person also does affect the quality of feedback. School-based research has identified how important the type of feedback provided can be. If teachers tell pupils, especially where they have gone wrong and how to improve, higher level feedback, then this often leads to dramatical improvement in performance. Yes, research has proved that if teachers are giving positive feedback to the students every day, then they are going to perform better. Journal feedback, however, such as giving praise for a piece of work without saying exactly what it was good, may appear to encourage a student yet has little effect on their education. A little praise is also a feedback, but that is journal feedback. So he's trying to say that for specified feedback, you need to dig in the problems. For example, in a language class, we need to tell that student this is a grammatical mistake, this is a punctuation mistake, this is a structural mistake, and accordingly the student will improve. With these and many other studies have shown that not all feedback is welcomed by all people all the time. Yes, this is true that all feedbacks are not welcomed by all the people, so you need to make the mind. While it is generally valued, this isn't true in every case. So thought must be given to not only what you are going to say, but whether you should be saying it at all or not. Situation and context is very important. So in this, so we have to be cautious for when to give the feedback. With this passage, we have questions, multiple choice questions, and we have to read the question. It means we are going to develop the sub skills of skimming, scanning and inferring, and we are going to solve these questions, question number 10 to 16 for this passage. This is your IGCSE exams reading practice for language. This is Sadia Imran from the Language House. Do subscribe, like and comment on our channel so more people can benefit from it. Thank you very much.